Hi everyone. So my name's Rachel. I grew up in a home where I was exposed to the gospel, but also an environment that was colored by unforgiveness and broken trust. I excelled through school and was the classic overachiever kid who was often stressed and took life very seriously. I found solace in my studies as an escape. My life was characterized by drivenness and perfectionism, a manifestation of my need for control, and a family where my parents' broken marriage was outside of my control. My self-worth was dictated by my achievements, and therefore it was very fragile. I was very fragile. I believed that I was only loved for what I could do, and the thought that I could be loved for who I was really scary because I felt like I was hollow underneath. And this belief, it kept me at a safe distance from people, but it also kept me very lonely. The only part of myself that I had ever tapped into was my identity as a student. And I felt shame that any other parts of me were sorely underdeveloped, if they even existed. I didn't think that they did. And I consider my relationship with the Lord just another item to check off the list. I came to his mansion in the process of emerging from a total nervous breakdown. I can't think of a better word to describe it, but it went on for about a year. I'd always struggled with my thoughts, ruminating and obsessive thinking, but it reached a climax when I was in college. I really thought I was at the mercy of my thoughts, and I didn't think that there was any escape. I ended up leaving college, and as the time passed, my condition worsened, and the unaddressed hurts from my past resurfaced. I eventually gave up hope and became embittered towards other people, the Lord, and mostly myself. And I started walking in agreement with my own destruction. Self-pity told me that I was beyond help, and I listened. It was only after the Lord gave me the willingness to fight again that I started to improve. Once I was further along the road to recovery and able to function again, a big part of me wanted to believe that I was better and go back to school. But the better part of me knew that my ability to function was not an indicator of my healing. I was just as fragile underneath as I had always been. I was broken and could no longer deny it. Considering how much of a race I viewed life before I came here, and you guys know this, only the Lord could have softened my heart to spend the past 14 months here. The Lord has used this year to strip away many of the things that I had been hiding behind. Unlike the world of academia had been, people were not content here with seeing what I could do. They insisted on seeing who I was. At first, this was very tiresome to me because I was so used to living out of obligation, and realizing that people wanted to see me just felt like an obligation to offer them details to appease them. I was very calculated and very guarded, and it was only through beginning to enjoy my relationship with the Lord that He brought me to begin to enjoy my relationships with people, and to believe that I am loved, that there's nothing left to prove, and that there's nothing left to do but rest. True rest was foreign to me, as the heavy weight of shame that I carried muddled the truth, and it continued to both be my motivator and be what exhausted me. I had never before faced the truth that Christ bore my sin and my shame on the cross. Not only did He bear them, He defeated them. It is finished. Was the cross enough for me? I had to wrestle with this question and a lot of other questions with the Lord over this year. As He began to peel away the layers of shame and put people in my life to see and accept me in its exposure, something else became clear. The parts of my identity that I was most ashamed of and had spent my life repressing, He had no intentions of getting rid of. As I previously hoped that Him refining me meant. These parts were the parts of my being which He intended to redeem and to use to glorify himself. The way he's wired my mind to chew over things, the part of myself that I most resented, when turned outward instead of inward, allows me to perceive things in others, noticing patterns, making connections, and remembering specific things about people that I can love them well by being sensitive to. It's also a mind that can ruminate on God's word from all different angles and experience the Lord's voice personally through the connections that he allows me to see. The word freedom best captures what the Lord has given me to taste personally over the 14 months that I've been here. The most powerful channel he's given me to experience freedom through has been coming to know God as my Father and to begin to live out of all the implications of that truth. God is my Father, but he's also God, which means that all the things that are true about God as my Father. That is, all aspects of his character are manifested through the way he fathers me. He is gentle. He does not withhold from me. He grieves alongside me. He defends me. He loves it when I express myself and my love for him, to him and before others. He cares about the specifics. He treasures our friendship, and he enjoys being with me. His eyes are toward me, and he pursues me. The Lord transforming these concepts from words into my experience has drastically transformed the way I view people, the way I see myself, and the way I see him. He invites me to rest, and I accept his invitation. I am so grateful to my family and to the Carlsons, who were and have always been committed to my healing, even when I wasn't, and have been persistent in loving me. I'm so thankful for this community, and I'm amazed by the Lord's sovereignty in bringing me here. Thank you all for pursuing me by seeing me. Most of all, thank you for speaking the truth to me. Hearing the difficult truths from the same mouths that have spoken, or hearing the encouraging truths from the same mouths that have told me the most difficult truths, make those encouraging truths so much more believable. And I'm really grateful for that. And I wanted to just close by reading a little part of Psalm 34. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul makes its boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. I sought the Lord, and he answered me, and delivered me from all my fears. Those who look to him are radiant. Their faces shall never be ashamed.